Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, back once again with another interesting article. And like I said, I've been going to a lot of these articles for a reason. All right, because there's so much information out here, and being the watchman, we gotta, pay attention to what's going on. All right, and as they've been calling it a perfect storm, it's good that there's so many articles like this out here, because it highlights the warnings. All right, these articles that you see are pretty much examples in the current time of these prophecies that we've been warning you about. Okay, as you can see, this time that we're in is definitely the beginning of sorrows. So now this article here is from zerohedge.com. Now, like I usually do, I'll put the link to the article in the description box so you can click on that and check it out. And it says looming price hikes on food set to hit Americans even harder this fall. And as we read the article, we come to find out that it turns out that currently right now, people, the stores aren't feeling the food price hikes, the real effects of the food price hikes just yet. All right, and as I read through the article, you'll find out why that is. So prices are going up now, but they haven't actually reflected how much they're actually supposed to go up by. So it says in its effort to contain inflation, the Federal Reserve has launched what many expect to be an ongoing series of interest rate increases, which are already taking a toll on stock and housing markets, with with job losses likely to follow. It says, as weary as Americans have become from paying record high gas and grocery prices, however, another round of price hikes is making its way through the food supply chain and is expected to reach consumers this fall. Okay, so you got one beast you gotta face in the summer, but just as you come out of that, you getting ready to face an even worse situation by the end of the summer. It says people don't realize what's fixing to hit them, said Texas farmer Lynn Bugsy Allen. They think it's tough right now. You give it until October. Food prices are going to double. Okay? Food prices doubling, mass unemployment, people being hungry, rolling blackouts, inflation going through the roof. And they're going to explain that pretty much what we've been saying is that the more the prices of these essential things go up, the less money you have left to spend on other things. And that also affects the economy as a whole, because now there's less money going out to spend on different things. Now, it's like the problem is bad, but the solution that they're presenting is also going to be bad. So there's no smooth or soft landing, as they might have been telling you. Now, it says the 8.8% increase in food prices that Americans have already seen does not take into account the dramatic cost increases that farmers are now experiencing. This is because farmers pay their costs up front and only recoup them at the point of sale months later. Usually what we see on the farm, the consumer doesn't see for another 18 months, said John Chester, a Tennessee farmer of corn, wheat, and soybeans. But with the severity of these cost increases, consumers could feel the effects much sooner, particularly if weather becomes a factor. So the prices you're seeing now, you haven't really felt the effects of, how do I put it? It's like paying for an item without the tax, right? You go and you pay for it, and they say it's like $5.99, and you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty affordable, and that's without tax. And then when you find out, okay, now we're gonna hit you with the tax, that shit goes up to maybe $8.99, $9.99. You're like, whoa. So that's now the actual price that you're gonna pay. Okay. So just on a base level example, that's sort of like right now you're paying what you're paying at the stores right now is not reflective of the total cost that you're actually going to be paying. So it says Lorenda Overman, a North Carolina farmer who raises hogs and grows corn, soybeans, and sweet potatoes, said the spike in fuel costs has put her farm into the red this year. Nothing that consumers are paying is going to bridge the gap for farmers right now, she said. The prices now have not hit the grocery stores yet. Hear that? So you might be, prices may be going up now, but you haven't seen nothing yet, in essence. But she expects that Slakia, but she expects they will start to by the end of summer. So by the end of summer, that's when you're gonna start to see the real prices of these of food and so on and so forth, because of what the farmers are having to deal with. Now it says much of the cost of food hinges on the price of oil. They have no electric trucks delivering that food, and there are no electric tractors, Allen said. It takes diesel to run all this. Chester said that fuel and fertilizer together make up 55% of his total costs. Damn. And the thing is, the prices are still going up. The price of diesel fuel has more than doubled from $2.50 per gallon at the end of 2020 to more than $5 per gallon today. Farmers say the cost of fertilizer and oil derivative has tripled and in some cases quadrupled. And as that affects them, a short period after, it'll start to affect you. It says here, when you look at the machinery that uses diesel, it's farm equipment, it's railroads, it's truckers, said Daniel Turner, executive director of Power the Future, an energy advocacy group. Diesel moves all of our goods, it grows our food, from cargo ships arriving from overseas to trucks or trains getting those goods across the country. All those things now have added costs that will get sent to the consumer. You hear that? So the farmers, their added cost is going to get sent to you. The truckers, their added cost is going to get sent to you. Whatever prices they have to pay, it's all going to get sent to you. It says that surge in food and energy costs is very demand destructive for U.S. households, said Joseph Lavargna, chief economist at Natixis, a European bank. If you have to pay a lot more money for your food, to heat or cool your home, or put gasoline in your vehicle to get to work, there's less money available elsewhere. Price hikes in gas and food will leave Americans with less money to spend on other goods, which will reduce demand and have a knock-on effect on the wider economy, which is true. But once again, the average American, the fact that they're still able to go and deposit a check or get a direct deposit and go and buy this and buy that, they're not worried about having a hedge to protect against what's to come. And when the Fed starts to say, okay, now we're gonna start increasing, hiking, these rates and tightening these policies to where now, it's harder to get, loans and all of these things. The interest rates of things are going up, and it starts to bring a wave of unemployment hit with this high prices, and people's savings accounts start to diminish just like that. They're going to be left with nothing. But that sounds a little familiar. It sounds like the WEF slogan as to not owning anything and being joyous about it. So let's keep that in mind. Now it says economic reports are indicating that Americans are already unable to keep up with inflation. Woo, sheesh. Truly did the Lord prophesy this being the beginning of sorrows, because it's just getting started. It's just getting started. So what are you going to do when they come for you? You know, what are you gonna do when this thing actually starts to climb up, nearing climax? Do you like? Are you now starting to see why there's gonna be chaos out here? Because at the same time as these things are happening, people are starting to point the finger at Biden. They're starting to point the finger at the Biden administration, and they're starting to say, "Look, you may blame Russia all you want, but you are part of the problem." Now we can't go do anything to Putin, but we all here in the United States with you. So it's gonna get to the point where as people start to feel that squeeze and they start to get angry and they start to get mad, they're gonna start setting out into the streets and they're gonna say, "Yo, F you, Biden. We listen to you and look at where we at." As the second Ezra 15 says, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. They're gonna be ransacking these stores. They're gonna look, because this isn't a problem that has an easy fix. They're saying, look, you're forcing us into this your green economy, and look at what that's doing to us. So this is your fault. So it says here, household savings fell to the lowest rate in 14 years as people struggle to maintain their standard of living. Credit card debt is hitting record highs, and retailers say they are preparing for more consumers to limit their spending on the bare bone basics, or slakia, limit their spending to the bare bones basics. So if it's not needed, we can't afford it. That's what you're going to start to hear soon. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. And that's in that audio of, I think it said how it will all end. I've re-uploaded it. It was like an economic downfall kind of situation, and literally, what we're reading of now is like what was going on inside of that scenario, where they started to slowly but really quickly realize that you needed to now cut down on a lot of things just to be able to get by affording the basic necessities. But then it got to the point where even that wasn't enough. When the father got laid off from his job and he's applying and it's not enough, and it gets really bad. And I think one of the daughters got sold into prostitution or something like that, trafficked. Okay. And guess what women are going to start to do? They're going to have to start doing OnlyFans real life edition. Forget behind the screens and all of that. Because guess what? These women that are on OnlyFans, people pay money to go and get on, those sites and look at these things, right? And that's how these women make their money. Now, if the guy that's sending you money or paying on your site to watch your footage, okay, if he's not making money and he's unemployed and he has to not worry about what he's going to eat, guess what? You're not getting paid. Okay, you're not getting paid. So now when you start to lose that money on your site, you start to lose, look, people are not thinking of laughter and giggling and watching TikToks when they're starving, when they're in desperate, dire straits. So those IG famous little girls that be popping up here and there and the stupid dances here and there, that's going to be irrelevant very soon. Social media is going to be irrelevant in terms of, oh, look at how many likes I got. Oh, I'm famous. Yeah, I'm at the party. I'm shaking my ass at a club. Violence is going up. Sexual assaults are skyrocketing. And women are going to start having to face hard situations. And some of them are just going to end up saying, look, I'm just going to start trying to sell my body out here because that's how hard it is. There's literally no other way to make money. And in a down spiraling economy where, violence is going up and things are getting bad out here, that's not going to be the safest thing to do, because guess what? You may go, they're saying, okay, well, I did my session. Where's my money? And they say, hey, we ain't paying you no money. As a matter of fact, you ain't even going home. Then what? So reality is fastly setting in, man. Fastly setting in. You're not, your makeup kits, okay, going to do your hair, going to do your nails, all them things, you ain't gonna be able to afford that. Okay? And man, there's I mean, these are all the little things that people don't think about. But they count, they get affected. All right, they get affected. And when you can't afford the pads and the tampons and the little things that you need here and there, I mean, medication, a lot of things are going to be affected that people are not thinking of or considering. And that's why they're gonna have to face it. It's gonna hit them very, very hard. So it says here, while it is possible that Americans' loss of spending power may help to reduce inflation, some economists fear that a return of 1970s era stagflation, rising prices coupled with economic stagflation and increased unemployment, that period of inflation was ultimately tamed by the Fed raising interest rates to nearly 20%. Damn. And things are worse now than they were back then. In contrast to the Carter-era energy crisis, which was sparked by an embargo from foreign oil producers at a time of declining American oil output, today's energy shortages are largely the result of domestic U.S. government policies. You hear that? It says, as the Biden administration attempts to force Americans to switch from fossil fuels to wind, solar, and electric, this effort has included shutting down pipelines, suspending oil and gas leases, and putting up regulatory roadblocks, all of which has reduced new investment in American oil and gas production. What do you think people are going to start to feel when this thought sets into their mind as they're going through it? Because when people suffer, one of the first things they instantly try to do is blame. They're looking for blame. Who can they blame for their suffering? Who can they take out their rage and frustration on? and people don't want to take it out on themselves. They're looking for somebody. And then all of a sudden they start to hear these kinds of things about Biden because he shut down the pipelines, because of his policies, because of these things, and they get upset. They get angry. They say, this motherfucker right here, man, I'll help put your ass in there, and this is the shit you're doing. It says here that last week, Biden stated that the spike in oil prices was an incredible transition that is taking place. Incredible. That God willing, when it's over, we'll be stronger and the world will be stronger and less reliant on fossil fuels. These people are getting ready to... Oh, shoot. Now let me jump down here. Oh, it says, with natural gas prices now hitting 14-year high, Biden's Department of Energy recently posted a few tips on how you can prepare your home and office to safely navigate a blackout. You hear that? A few tips on how to safely navigate a blackout. What is that telling you? That's telling you, yeah, I mean, at this point, just start looking at how to deal with the problem. Stop worrying about how to stop the problem. Just start looking at how to deal with the problem. Okay? And this is summertime. Now, if this persists throughout the fall as things get worse and going into the winter, let's come down here. It says here that energy is a very capital investment intensive business, and we're basically down to about half the level of CapEx within energy that we had a couple years ago. Lavorgna said. A lot of that has to do with the fact that oil companies are not toned to death to what shareholders want, or more importantly, what the regulators and politicians want. It's incredibly curious that all of Biden's rhetoric, I have yet to hear anything along the lines of, we will do everything to increase production in America, Turner said. They are comfortable with the current state because of their green philosophy, and we're just necessary casualties. Once again, as hard times set in and people start to get mad and angry, they're not going to be saying, oh, Black Lives Matter protests. They're going to be protesting on how we going to get food, how are we going to eat. Okay? It says, together with ruptures in global supply chains, oil and food prices are a key reason why many economists think the Fed will have a particularly hard time taming inflation. Yeah, you mean the same inflation that they said was non-existent last year? Then they said was transitory. And we told you, I mean, I remember very vividly, we told you, look, inflation is coming to this place. No, the Fed said, no, that's not going to happen at all. No. There is a real risk the price of gas could reach $6 a gallon by August. Natasha Kaneva, head of global oil and commodities research at JP Morgan Chase, told the press. U.S. retail price could surge another 37% by August. So deal with the blackouts, deal with the energy shortages, and right after that, we got a nice price hike waiting for your ass. How would you like that? It says the higher prices climb, the more aggressive the Fed will need to be to contain inflation. We think the risks are skewed towards a much more significant recession. As so on one hand, let inflation rage and destroy your economy, or on the other hand, cause a recession in hopes of taming inflation. It says, as inflation proves more persistent than is generally expected, the moves from the Fed currently envisioned by markets will be too slow to restrain inflation. Now, worst case, you cause a recession and that doesn't stop inflation. Stated economists from Deutsche Bank in a research report titled, Why the Coming Recession Will Be Worse Than Expected. A mild recession would be relatively small increase in unemployment rate, Lavorgna said. If, however, the Fed feels that it needs to compress demand further, then we are looking at a much deeper recession with the unemployment rate perhaps doubling, if not more. Man, oh man, unemployment rate doubling, if not more. And now think about this. During the CVPD, right, over the past 2 years, they sent out the stimulus checks and all of that. You see what that did, right? So if they have to now compress demand and raise unemployment rates, and people now are unemployed, they're going to be filing for unemployment. They're going to be demanding or looking for something like what Biden did earlier and sending out stimulus checks. But that's not going to fix the problem. You're trying to stop more printed money from going into circulation. That's a big part of the reason inflation is going up. So you can't expect him to send out stimulus checks for you when the unemployment is a cause of recession, which is a cause of them trying to stop or lower this inflation because of those stimulus checks and that extra money that was printed into the economy. Of course, with other factors in mind as well. Okay. Now let's see. Inflation is the result of too many dollars chasing too few goods. And in this case, it has been a perfect storm on both sides of the equation. Yeah, because you have too many dollars, and on the other side, you have less and less and less and less goods. As the Fed works to cool demand by raising rates, some economists say the Biden administration must reverse the policies it has put in place that are undermining productivity and holding back supply. Yeah. Well, are they going to do it? We don't know. Let's see. Okay, let's see. But I want to get this real quick because what we're starting to notice is there's this attitude whenever you tell people about the about the horrible things that are coming. Oh, we're in the last days. Oh, these are the things. Oh, yeah, y'all been saying that for years. My grandma been saying that. Y'all always say that every year, and then nothing happens. All right. Well, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 12, verse 21. It says, and the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged and every vision faileth? Right? You guys said that this is going to happen, and then what happened? Ain't nothing happened. Right? You guys, what you saying ain't going to come to pass. That vision, that prophecy, whatever, ain't coming. Okay. Telling people, wait, for years. For years. Verse 23, tell them therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will make this proverb to cease. So the Lord said, I'm going to shut that down. Where you can comfortably say, oh, yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, yada, yada. The Lord's going to shut that down. And they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel. But say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. So all the visions, the prophecies, the hell, the famines, the pestilence, the chaos, the cannibalism that we've been prophesying about, we are in the time of the effect of those visions. For there shall be no more any vain vision, nor flattery or flattering divination within the house of Israel. For I am the Lord, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. That's why we tell you the things we tell you are going to happen. Not that we are the Lord, but we're speaking his words. And he said his words are going to come to pass. It shall be no more prolonged. For in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word and will perform it, saith the Lord Yahweh. So guess what? The Lord is performing his word. All these things that are happening, these are a part of the words of the Lord, aka prophecy. Verse 26, it says, Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come. When we were warning people about this 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 3 years ago, oh, nah, I mean, at some point it's going to happen, but not anytime soon. I have enough time to go back in the world and do what I want to do. Okay. And he prophesieth of the times that are far off. Oh, what, they're gonna put a charagma, a device inside your body? What? Nah, bro, that's like some future stuff, bro. That's something my grandkids are gonna have to deal with. Okay. Verse 28, therefore say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, not us. This is what the Lord said. There shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord Yahweh. Okay, so what you're seeing is the word of the Lord being done, coming to pass. And people are getting ready to experience hard times that they have never felt before. So with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kudash. Until next time, Shalom.